I'll wait to see this set up on the couch. This was fun organising this. Fans have been following our next guest's pregnancy journey for the past few months, and with the countdown officially on until Erin Holland and her partner Ben Cutting welcome their first child, there's no better time to catch up than right here, right now.
But like a lot of first-time parents, there's also a fur baby at home who's also about to go through a big transition, a big change, after being the favourite, the doted one for such a long time. So what do you need to do to create a happy household when pets are involved? To tell us more, Erin Holland joins us live alongside founder of Your Vet Online, Dr. Lee Davidson. Hello, team.
Hi.
Now, we're just going to say, Chewbacca sits right in the middle and is being a couch hog.
He absolutely is. I am supposed to be sitting where he is, but you know what? We let the talent do what they want to do.
He wouldn't move for you.
He wouldn't move.
So cute.
Great to see you guys. Now, countdown's finally on. Due date, what do you got for us?
No, we've got a few more weeks to go, thank goodness. It's
weeks,
yeah,
not
final countdown.
weeks.
And it's been so interesting getting my head around the reality of actually finally having a child. And I think with all the trials and tribulations of getting pregnant for almost 6 years, I forgot about the parenting. I forgot what you do when it comes.
Right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I deal with this? But, you know, getting excited now and, the end is nigh.
Because I think the last time...
The beginning. The beginning.
I'm tired already.
Because I think last time you were here, you just announced it. So how's that time been? How's the pregnancy been?
It's been exciting. It hasn't been without its complications, which I think can happen with a lot of IVF pregnancies. But, you know, things are looking really good. I'm really excited for this next chapter, and I've got to try and introduce another one into the family. Big sister Skylar, my husky, is going to have to make some space and make some space quickly.
And what plans have you been making for Skylar? Because the whole dynamic changes, right?
Absolutely. I mean, she has been our dote and like light of our life for 2.5 years since we've had her, and she's an absolute bundle of joy. But, you know, from a health perspective, I think it's really important to prepare the household. Parasite protection is something that we really worry about as well. We don't want to bring germs into the household, and thank God she likes her Simparica Trio because it's once a month.
So do you.
Yeah, I know. But
okay, well, let's introduce... Hello, Dr. Lee.
Hi. Hello.
So a lot of dogs may have been the only fur baby or the fur child in the house for such a long time. How do you go about preparing your pet for an actual human to come into the house? What steps should, parents to be take?
Well, it definitely needs to start early. So basically when you first find out you're pregnant, so I hope you've been working on it. And you know, the key steps are making sure your dog is familiar with boundaries. That's a big thing, because we've got to remember our little children, especially once they start crawling, don't understand the nose and the don't touch and that sort of thing. It's also really important, because you're going to be so busy in those first few weeks, months, that you actually go and get your dog checked up by the vet. So make sure their vaccination status is up to date. You have all your parasite, what you were talking about before, your parasite prevention products on hand, because we also got to remember that dogs do carry parasites that are zoonotic, meaning can be passed on to us. So we've got to be really careful with that. And as you said, Simparica Trio, I'm glad you're using that for Skylar, because it's a brilliant product. It covers your ticks, your roundworm, your hookworm.
All the stuff. What do the dogs see? We know what we see and what we're supposed to do, but what do the dogs see when the new little bub comes home?
Yeah, that's a really
competition.
Good question. It is competition, and sometimes they can feel a little bit left out. That's why we recommend that you set your boundaries first. So you might get some play pens so that they can see what's going on, but there's a little guard.
Yes, right.
So is the playpen to put the dog in or to put the baby in? I'm a little confused.
It could be both. Yeah, it could be both. But it's to have that
that's actually a serious question.
I know, and it's a great question, because you've got to remember what are the most dangerous things for a new, so much of newborn, you know, you'll be doing the sniffs and stuff. Definitely don't let the dog touch its face. Like, we've got to keep faces away.
Yes.
But once they get to a crawling stage, I think people tend to forget, and they see these beautiful pictures on social media, cuddles and all that, but they don't need to be friends and that close. We've got such a problem with dog bites, and it's always the family dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Skylar actually came with parasites when we got her as a puppy as well, so I've seen firsthand what it actually does to their insides and their long-term health problems, and obviously that would pass on to a human if you're not careful.
Right.
So.
Is Skylar ready? No, you're ready. Is Skylar ready for the big change?
You know how they're like, oh, dogs know. She doesn't have a clue. She couldn't
Just
care.
happy in paradise.
In fact, she's a little bit put off by all the boxes and the unpacking and the prams and the stuff.
Well, they get anxious about that.
They do. And I was just going to say, are you practicing with the empty pram with her around? Okay,
I was tempted to put her in the pram at one point, but she's a large husky.
Can I just ask you this one thing? Are you meant to bring home a baby blanket from the hospital and let the dog sniff it to get used to the baby smell, or not? Is that a myth?
Look, it's not a myth, but it's nice. But is it the end of the world if you forget amongst all the other things? Quite frankly, no.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Look, I wouldn't get too concerned with that. But I do think it's definitely important, keep them on a leash. You know, the dog... And cats, actually. Cats, you know, just let them have a little sniff in their own time. Don't force anything.
Don't force. Okay,
and
good
you'll
advice.
have a lovely relationship.
Yeah.
Kylie has one of my blankets in her car, and it just helps us set up each morning,
When she
doesn't it?
misses you when you're not
that's when
at
she
work.
misses
Just
me, that's
reminds
right.
her of your existence.
So good to see you. Hey, good luck next couple of weeks. We're following this closely.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to the
Thank you,
happiness.
Chewbacca.
Thanks,
And
buddy.
Julie was good.
Is cheating on her?
Yeah.
I know. She'll tell me when I get home.
Thanks, guys. Soon.